Hello, everybody, and welcome to day 26 of The Longing. We are almost halfway there or so, clearing the Dark Crystal, and I still have my special guest James here with me, and he wants to
Hi.
talk about the movie The Dark Crystal, which I have not seen. So without further ado, James.
Alright. So, it's been a couple of years since I've seen it, but it was a weird movie. It's like a Jim Henson puppet kind of movie, except, you know how the Muppets all have this like normal kind of cute puppet look?
I
These are like,
think.
these are monstrosity puppets. Like, picture like Ukrainian like 70s safety film. Like the most ridiculous, creepy, disgusting looking puppets.
I don't know how many people can picture Ukrainian 70s safety
I don't
film.
know why that was the example that popped into my head, but it was like, I feel like we had to, actually no, what was that one? Was it like Mr. Bucket?
Mr. Bucket was like a video I showed you guys from like the Board James from the Board James from the what's the name of the website the Nostalgia Critic runs or whatever or ran. He was one of those internet reviewers and he made
Channel Awesome?
yeah, Channel Awesome. There was a guy who made a video about Mr. Bucket, a game about a bucket where you have to throw balls into the bucket, and it says stuff like "Feed me your balls." And
Okay, that was not what I was thinking of.
that's not what you're thinking of. Okay.
What was I thinking of? There was some
Your ball game.
video we watched like years ago. It was like about washing your hands for lunch or something like that.
Oh yes, I know. That was also a Nostalgia Critic video.
Yeah.
It was a Nostalgia Critic plus, I think, the Cinema Snob. They did a thing about that. That was a fantastic video. I should play a clip from that or something.
But I think I remember that having like kind of creepy puppets. And it was that sort of thing in the Dark Crystal. But the reason I remember it is not necessarily for them, it was for the villains in the movie. They're called the Skeksis. I would definitely put a picture of one of them on here, like
Very
somewhere. They are just... They're like these giant, rotting looking bird creatures.
Ooh.
They're like made out of trash bags or something. Like, I gotta look one of these up. It's been a while since I've even seen them. Yeah. They look like vultures, but like anthropomorphized or whatever.
I'll put one up in post.
I can even link one right now.
Well, I don't want to alt tab.
Alright.
Yeah.
But I just remember these things because every time they talk, they'll have like these weird pauses in between some of their words where they just go like Ooh. It's like, what are these things? Why is this the villain that you decided to make? I'd actually make a good D&D character, at least for like the look of them.
I thought you were gonna say monster, but then you went with character, and that
Because
that
they
doesn't
kind of
sound like.
look like Kenku,
Hmm.
some of them, like the less gross looking ones.
Hanku, for people who don't know, they're like the weird like bird people in D&D.
Yeah, and like some of them have armor that seems like it could fit in a fantasy setting. So maybe?
You sound like you've been getting into role-playing games. How did you get into that? Was it just people in college? And because as is, I've always felt like there's difficulty in finding someone to DM. There's always the potential
Yeah.
for me to DM something, but
I got pretty lucky with that actually, where one of my friends I made freshman year turned out to like have a friend who can DM.
Hmm.
So I think junior year, maybe early senior, he like came over to our apartment and ran like a little short campaign. I think it was only a few sessions, but I got to play a little bit there. And then like just recently one of my friends invited me to a Pathfinder server, which is like D&D, but you can actually do whatever you want.
What do you mean the different? What's like the real difference game wise?
D&D is a little bit limited, like 5th edition
Yeah.
specifically, is a little limited in like feats and class options and action economy. So you can like move and attack, you can dash and use W movement, but Pathfinder has a lot more options where you can like, for example, you could do like a charging attack where you try and run through another or like an enemy square and you get certain bonuses when you do that. You can try like knock them prone while you're doing it. There's a lot of feats and a lot of like, I guess you'd call it like DLC sort of
Hmm.
like homebrew content, like Spheres of Might, that just gets so complex with the different options.
Every once in a while I get interested in like the idea of like, oh, if I were to make like a D&D character, how would I make them? And I tend to like there's a little bit of fun for me in just doing that, but I think to myself like one of the problems I really have with the whole especially like D&D system that has like classes and subclasses and things is it feels constrictive by the nature of like you have to go down a path. There's like a path of things. There's like options and little branches on that path, but for the most part, you got to go down some path, and it just feels. And I know there's multi-classing and stuff, but
Mm.
it's just like I'd really want for the majority of anything that I would want to play, I'd want a classless system because like the real world is just not like that. And I know some people are like, "Oh, the real world, it's a fantasy game and you want realism." Well, like I mean, there's a lot of the real world is stranger than fiction often. That's how I when I'm running that game that I sometimes I run a game that James is in and along with some other people there where I it's a very free form game without much rules to it and it's I'm trying to base as much as I can off of real world stuff and just it's fucking crazy. And it's just real life is often stranger than fiction and people don't realize it. And that's how I feel. And,
Hmm.
and I don't know where I'm going with this.
No, I get that. The class system is a little limiting. I feel like Pathfinder does a little bit better job of it. Like you're still kind of limited and like you have a certain path progression with your class and then you can multi-class a little bit to change it up. But like a lot of the real variation comes in with feats and like different traits and stuff and items you can get.
Well, I
And
wanted
that's
to
where I
talk
think
about
Pathfinder does
feats.
better.
That like I saw feats in D&D and stuff, and with feats and stuff, it seems like oh, I want to go back. I just remembered a place that was back that might be flooded now where I can swim across. But with feats and stuff, it seems like there'll be stuff like master at disguise or something will be like a feat in D&D or something, and you get like a bonus to your rolls at doing disguise or something, and it just
Mhm.
feels like it'd be nice if there was more like it feels so sterile to me because it feels like the sort of thing where that's something that should be role played through or like decided between you and like the game master as opposed to just oh if you reach level 5 you have the option to get a new feat. Why do you get it? Don't worry about it. You just get it because you leveled up. Why did you level up? Through experience.
Hmm.
What is experience? It's something you get when you kill monsters. It doesn't make any sense, and it's like, and then it makes situations where it feels like, what can I do here? Maybe I'll try doing this option that I came up with. And you'd be like, oh, I want to do this option. And they say, oh, no, you can't do that. To be able to do that, you have to have a feat to do that. It's like, oh, I can only do that if I have a feat for that.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't, like, okay. It just
That was
feels,
kind of a problem.
it feels annoying, which is why I like more free-form stuff than that. Yeah.
Or then there's skills where if you don't have at least one rank in the skill, there's like massive penalties to trying to do it.
Yeah, it feels really bullshit in a similar way to like a RuneScape sort of. Oh, you're not high enough level to hold this sword. You can't do it.
Yeah.
Like,
That always
it's
bothered me with Slayer in RuneScape, where yeah, you can see this monster, but oh no, you can't actually hurt it unless you
yeah.
have the required level. I just poke it with a sword. Like, what am I leveling this for?
I noticed they have not made a swim animation. They just made me walk along the bottom of the water. Thank you, little droplet. But I just feel like video games are the sort of situation where you want a D&D like system. In a tabletop system, the whole point of it is that you should be able to do whatever you want. You shouldn't like lock things like saying like, "Oh, I want to charge at my enemy." Oh, no, you can't charge at enemies. You have to have a feat for that. And what the fuck is this place? Uh,
Huh, this is new.
this is new. Let's see what we got. Let me turn the music stuff back on. What do we got here? Let me see how long it's, how many minutes. Maybe I can end an episode here to make it sound cool. I don't really trust that it's been this long because I don't remember when I keep fucking, I don't want to lap. I don't want to lap on my timer. I want to start a new timer. I want to stop. No, stop. Reset. Start timer. Okay, whatever. Let's look inside. I'm not gonna make people wait. Enter. This looks like the entrance to the library. I can't wait to see what it holds. We found a library. We found a library.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I can't wait. I can't wait to go in. I used to love the library as a little kid. Did you ever have a love for the library as a child?
Yeah.
Look at this place. The library.
Not a lot of books for a library.
Not a lot of books, but there's lecterns, and there's creepy music,
Nice.
and there are books. Let's see what we got here.
Yeah, I used to love the library as a kid. There was like the public library had this little like kids area with a bridge going into it.
Yes, yes.
And then I remember I always used to play games on the computer there, but like they only had like 3 games, and one of them was this really weird Shrek game. We were having a lot of fun with that.
Tell me about the weird Shrek game. What was weird about it?
It was like one of those old 3D computer games where that was like new tech, sort of.
Yeah.
And as I remember, it was just like a beat 'em up kind of, but with Shrek. Like there wasn't too much special about it, but it was just kind of fun. And then every time I played it, I felt like it was only a few minutes I would actually get to play it before, like, I forget if there was a timer on the computers that you could only use them a certain amount of time, or just we would have to go. So we're not spending all day sitting in the library.
You know, like the library still has like, you can get like video games and read like comic books and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like Yeah, it's a lot of people don't know like how much shit there is at a library. There's movies, there's all sorts of shit. If you're poor in any way, just go to the library and you have infinite entertainment forever. It's really good. I
There
forgot
isn't
this.
always a ton of selection because a lot of the time the stuff in there is just donated, and like it's old movies people didn't want anymore. But
I don't know if I agree with that. I've seen like a lot of maybe on like the video
Really?
games section, but when it comes to like movies and stuff, I often it's not that you need like a million movies that you want to watch.
Yeah.
All you need is when you go there to see like 5 things and you're like, "Oh, I want to watch these and I can't even get them on a streaming service, but they're here at the library." And there
Oh,
usually
okay.
is, for me at least.
I guess I just haven't been in a while.
Hmm. Yeah, it's worth checking out your library, your local library, children. If you go to your local library, you'll and all. This is not actually for children. Kappa, don't fuck with me. If you go to your local library, you'll often be surprised, or not. Maybe it'll be a dump, and you'll be like, I can't believe I went here. There was like a guy with a knife, and he came around the aisle, and he did the thing with the knife where it hurts the people.
He did the thing with the knife where it hurts people.
Yeah. I was gonna go get a book to read about the English language today so that I could explain things better, but I was blocked by the man with the knife, so I never learned how to describe the situation. I wish I could use my pickaxe to open this door.
I was gonna say, that would make sense.
Yeah.
I wonder if that'll, like, get water dripped on it that it'll rot away or something.
I doubt it.
It's like, why would they have a door there and just leave it blocked off forever?
It's like Dark Souls if they like programmed all of the same ways where you could in Dark Souls 1 go back and forth between areas after you went to one area, you could get to it a different way. And they had all that in, but they just blocked it off with rocks instead, just to fuck with you.
God, I hated. Actually, it was Dark Souls 3 had a ton of just like big doors that don't actually go anywhere or open or anything.
God Wars Dungeon and RuneScape.
There's like so much to it that's not actually anything.
I think I'll leave an episode here, and I'll talk to everybody in the next episode.